We all want to be excellent, right? But what if we've been going about it completely backwards? We're going to explore a really powerful idea here, that excellence isn't something you have to achieve, but something you already are. It's a culture, a spirit that's already on the inside of you. So let's dive in.
So I want to ask you this right from the start. Is excellence a skill? Something you learn through practice? Or is it something deeper? A spirit that you already have and you just need to let it out? That's the big question we're tackling.
All right, so let's start with our first section, excellence as a kingdom culture. Now, the idea here is that excellence isn't supposed to be this rare thing we see once in a while. Nope. In this culture, it's actually the norm.
And this really breaks down two completely different ways to look at it. On the left, you've got striving for excellence. This is the hustle, the grind. It's all about effort, skills, and competing against others. But then look over on the right, expressing excellence. This is totally different. It's not about trying to get something. It's about letting out what's already inside you. It's your nature, your spirit. It's the difference between trying to be excellent and just being excellent.
And that right there, that's a game changer. Think about it. Excellence isn't a prize you're chasing after. It's a culture that you express. It stops being about hitting some benchmark someone else set, and it starts being about revealing an internal quality. It's about who you are, not just what you accomplish.
Okay, so to really bring this idea to life, let's look at a perfect example from the source material. We're moving on to section 2, Daniel, and what's called his excellent spirit. Now check out this verse from the book of Daniel. It says he was preferred above the presidents and princes. So why? What was his secret sauce? The text is crystal clear, because an excellent spirit was in him. It wasn't his resume or his network. His biggest asset was something inside of him.
So let's just hammer this point home. Why was Daniel promoted? It wasn't just his skills, though I'm sure he was great at his job. And it definitely wasn't about playing politics or who he knew. No. The thing that set him apart, the reason the king wanted him in charge of the whole shebang, was that excellent spirit within him. It was a distinction that went way beyond simple competence.
Okay, that brings up a really important question, right? Where did Daniel get this spirit? And more importantly for us, where do we get it? That brings us to section 3, the source of excellence.
Well, here's the core idea. The very same spirit of excellence that was in Daniel is in you. It's the Holy Spirit. This means this isn't just some cool story from thousands of years ago. It's a reality for believers right now.
And we see this backed up in the New Testament too. Look at this verse in 2 Peter. It says we've been given everything we need for life and godliness, and that we've been called to glory and virtue. Now hang on to that last word, virtue. It's super important. So what does virtue mean here? Well, in this specific context, it literally means excellence. So you weren't just called to be a decent person. You were called to a life of excellence. It's actually a part of your spiritual DNA.
Okay, so if we have this spirit inside of us, how do we get it, well, out? How does it show up in the real world, in our day-to-day? Let's get super practical in section 4, manifesting daily excellence.
All right, so here are a few key areas where this inner excellence becomes visible on the outside. First, in your vision and how you talk. Then, in how you present yourself, your appearance. Also, and this is a big one, in how you actually do things, right down to the little details. And believe it or not, even in just being on time, all these little things are actually reflections of that excellent character.
Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to character, doesn't it? It's about being detailed, being diligent, being the person everyone knows they can depend on. It's about choosing to be exceptional in a world that often settles for good enough.
And when you see it this way, it changes everything. Suddenly, there's no such thing as a small or unimportant task. I mean, whether you're running a massive project or just cleaning your desk, every single moment is a chance to express that divine excellence that's already in you.
So why? What's the big picture here? That brings us to our final section, a call to distinction. This is all about being called to be different, to stand out from the crowd.
This verse in 1 Peter is just incredible. It calls you a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a peculiar people. I mean, wow, you're set apart. And for what purpose? To shew forth the praises of the one who called you. So when you operate in excellence, it's not about you. It becomes a form of praise, a way of showing the world what God is like.
And that's really what it all boils down to. You just weren't called to be average. You were anointed to shine.
Not in a prideful, look at me kind of way, but as a reflection of something much, much bigger than yourself.
So, we started by asking what excellence is, but now the real question is for you. How are you going to express that spirit of excellence that's already living inside you, today, in the very next thing you do? It's something to think about.